Dwarfism is a rare disease in Malaysia and affects 1 in 15,000 to 1 in 40,000 individuals. This genetic condition, characterized by unusual short height, and the most common case that resulted dwarfism is known as achondroplasia. Hence, today we'll be answering to you, is dwarfism still a challenge in modern era?
According to a research by Healthline, the average height of dwarfism is 4 feet, and usually an adult would reach 4 feet 10 inches or shorter due to the genetic condition. It can be questioning how it could affect an individual, and in certain cases, it can happen naturally without a cause when discovered by the doctor. Meanwhile, it can be inherited by the parent's genes, which can take two forms, either in one parent or both. About 80% of individuals with achondroplasia, the common cause of dwarfism, are born to parents of average height, and some other cases are Turner syndrome and growth hormone deficiency. Dr. Nur Azwan, pediatrician from KPMC Puchong, share how this health condition is detected.
Diagnosing or picking up dwarfism can be challenging because it's not so common. And of course, when you talk about dwarfism, we can actually try to diagnose it antenatally. Antenatally means you try to diagnose it during pregnancy, whereby you will be seen by ONG specialists or by the fetal-maternal specialists, where they can do special scans determining your baby's length, your femur length, and maybe some few other signs that is in the fetus that may suggest towards dwarfism.
These little people, or also known as dwarfs, can be dissimilar from one and another. Two main symptoms of dwarfism are proportionate and disproportionate. Proportionate dwarfism is when the head, trunk, and limbs are small and proportionate. It is also smaller than an average-sized person due to the hormonal deficiency and can be treated with hormone injection. On the other hand, disproportionate dwarfism is having body parts disproportionate to each other. For example, the head may be slightly bigger than a normal person. Hence, the medical treatments can be different to each of them.
When you talk about treatment for dwarfism, you can divide it into two. Okay, the medical part of it and the emotional part of it. Okay, because when you have dwarfism, I think the medical part, it is well translated, whereby there is a possibility of spine problem, there is a possibility of joint problems that are related to dwarfism. But this part of it, I think is something that you can actually dealt with because you are not alone. But when you talk about mental or social or emotional part of it, there is a real challenge because the acceptance of dwarfism in the society can be different. The perception of others to you can be different. You may be looked down and you may be, bullied and so on. So in the end, you may have a lot of low self-esteem, and this actually make the situation worse.
As people with dwarfism are officially categorized as handicapped in Malaysia, they are entitled to receive donations or aid from the government. According to the President of Pertubuhan Orang Kerdil Malaysia, Jasmi Shafi'i, the medical treatments are mostly supported by the government up to 100%. This non-governmental organization represents the whole population of dwarfs around Malaysia and has turned into a link between the government to distribute aid or care for the registered members under Pertubuhan Orang Kerdil Malaysia.
Anak saya pun ada seorang kerdil, ya. Kerdil dia bermasalah banyak anggota. Daripada lahir, 1 minggu tu dah kena buat pembedahan usus. Buat perubatan dia, sekali buat 5,000, 6,000 dia. Semuanya dibantu oleh kerajaan. Tentang perubatan ni memang OKU tak ada masalah. dibiayai penuh oleh kerajaan lah. Dan bantuan-bantuan terus seperti mana kepada ahli-ahli, ada bantuan perniagaan. Lepas tu dipanggil Airline Pekerja Cacat, bantuan
In Malaysia, the proper ways to handle these little people are entirely devoid, particularly for parents that seek acknowledgement. Dina Shukra and her husband, Faizal Majnis, are parents to 3 children. Their firstborn Anik, however, was born with dwarfism, or commonly known as disproportionate dwarf. Hence, Dina formed a support group, the Parents of Little People Malaysia, to enlighten parents regarding this genetic disorder and consistently create content awareness on TikTok that has reached audience from other countries. This signifies a mother's love is unconditional and the purest form of love. Dina hopes that this support group will make her child with dwarfism far from feeling odd when meeting with people similar to his condition.
Okay, basically kalau ikutkan achondroplasia ni dia bukan dikira sakit tau. Dia adalah disability. So beza kan, kalau macam penyakit dia ada treatment apa semua. So dia adalah disability. So untuk besarkan dia, cabaran dia dari sudut fizikal lah. Maksudnya dia punya bercakap, dia punya motor skills, dia punya berjalan mungkin lewat sikit daripada orang lain. Lepas tu, tapi dari sudut makan, dari sudut emosional apa semua, dia macam orang lain jugalah.
Growing up, Anik's daily activities can be challenging compared to normal children, as simple as turning on the switch. He may require some assistance from time to time, but Dina described Anik as an independent son that always tries to do things on his own instead of expecting help from the people around him. Majority of people with dwarfism prefer not to be labeled with certain terms or by condition. Meanwhile, some of them refer to themselves as dwarfs, little people, or people with short stature. In English, the word midget can be offensive, so does referring to them as ketot in Malay. The common misconception that the public holds onto and the stereotype that portrays these little people are affecting their confidence, mental and emotional health. Adults with disabilities report experiencing more mental distress than those without disabilities. And 56% people with achondroplasia had a diagnosed psychiatric illness. They are often the victims of bullying because of their differences.
Zaman sekolah rendah, abang ceritalah. Masa orang AJ abang, apa orang buat, ada orang pandang abang kan. Dulu masa umur berapa? 1 dengan 2. Kan ada orang cakap kan. Ada juga pernah sekali lah pengalaman kan, bawa Anik pergi taman masa dia kecil lagi. Ayah ni dia tunjuk dekat anak dia tunjuk Anik. Masa dia cakap, tengok tu budak tu kepala dia besar. So macam as if tak tahu dia nak make fun ke. So ataupun dia nak rasa macam in words yang dia nak educate anak dia ke. Tapi macam saya tak ada ambil pot lah.
People born with dwarfism in Malaysia are slowly rising from 2020 to 2022. The latest record in 2022 was about 1,312 individuals that registered themselves. Despite their disabilities, they are still human beings just like normal born people. Today, many of them are successful in what they are doing, working in the industries, owning their own business, and being an athlete contributing to the name of Malaysia.
Today, this community still exists even in a small population. Therefore, let's make this community part of our family and together maintaining the humanity. With me, Al-Aqsha from Dimensi News.